Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Gray Area. You're not looking it wrong. You not need to check your glasses. Yes, Paul is on his vacation, and we are very, very pissed off at him. But hopefully, well, eats him. All joking aside, I hope he's having a great time. But tonight is going to be a special edition. But make sure you guys do me a favor and hit the like and share and subscribe button on both channels. We're co-streaming on two channels, not by one, but two, on the Black Man Unfiltered and on the Sparks HQ network. So before we get into it, let me see how everybody's doing tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. Oh, speak of the devil, actually, is poking his little pointy head in here, huh? All right, I got you. All right. So before we get into it, guys, I want to see a hell yeah in the comments. If you guys want to see my guest coming in, he is the few, the proud. He is BOSSMAN. That's your cue. What is going on, my brother? How are you tonight?
I am doing all right, sir. How are you?
So sick. But you know, the show must go on.
The show must go on.
Yeah, listen. One thing everybody can keep me credit for is I never miss show. So I'm always here, sick, shine, even surgery, whatever. I'm here. So I have a very, very serious question to ask you. I ask all my guests this: what is your relationship with the military?
Well, I am a Marine, but I am a veteran of these United States Marine Corps of these United States of America. Hoorah.
I like to hear that. I like that. I like that. So your branch is a unique branch.
Yes.
Unique branch. What makes your branch unique versus the Marines, the Army, the Navies, and so on? The Marines are usually higher up, the proud, the few, the Marines, like the logo goes. What makes you guys so special?
All right, so I'm going to correct something. It's the few, the proud, the Marines.
Okay, listen, I'm trying here, dude.
All right, so first of all, thank you for having me on here and filling in for the great Mr. Bennett. All right. Certainly, I will not be as informational and litigious as the great Mr. Bennett. And of course, I do not represent. I only represent the what is it? The I can't say it right, but the four. I think it's the 4B 4B movement only to the forehead. Okay. All right.
At least somebody can join my side of the world now. Like, listen, I got my last cut right now. I'm growing this bastard back. I'm getting my locks back.
All right. So, with that in mind, the Marine Corps is different and special in that we are considered what is known colloquially as the president's own. All right. And first of all, we are a subdivision of the Navy. As many of us don't really want to acknowledge that, we are a subdivision of the Navy. All right, so we are part of the Navy. So when we receive our promotions, we receive them as Department of the Navy, Department of the Marine Corps, from the Commandant of the Marine Corps, so on and so forth, yada yada. Okay, so that's how we receive our promotions. But first and foremost, we are the president's own. What that then means is that the president is able to maneuver the Marines without congressional approval. All right, so we receive direct orders and direct instructions directly from the president, and we're the only ones that have that authority to be moved without congressional approval, without any type of intermediary from any other official other than the president, then the general, and that's it. That's how that works. So that's why we are the ones that actually guard the president at the White House, and we're the first line of defense relative to the president. All right. So with that in mind, oftentimes this is why you see Marines on the MEUs, Marine Expeditionary Units. This is MEUs meaning, I already said what it meant, but you might notice that as to be on the ships, like the Lithuania, the Lusitania, I can't say it, the Lithuania. There we go. Or the different ships, or even submarines even. We go with them. Those are called MUs, or Marine Expeditionary Units, is what we call those. We go with them, with the Navy, for the most part, and we act as an attaché to the Navy, as the land or amphibious kind of sort of component to the Navy. So where the Navy doesn't go on land, we act as that component. Now, certainly the Navy has that component themselves, but again, they oftentimes needs congressional approval, supposedly, right? So the president would then say, hey, we need this to be done before we get, the larger unit involved. So what happens is that we will then be curried either by the Navy, either by the Army, or by the Air Force. And then we go there first, make shit happen. And then secondarily, the bigger force will come in, like the Army, like the Navy, like the Air Force, to come in and establish a stakehold. So essentially, we go in, we ask no questions, we kick ass, take names, and then we get the hell out.
In other words, in Spartan terms, you fuck shit up, and then
We fuck shit
somebody
up,
comes cleans up.
and then we fuck out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. So so after 9/11, for instance, when we gave like Iraq and Afghanistan, when we gave them their 7-day notice, essentially. Good evening. When we gave them the MU, yep, I just said it. Yep. When we gave them their 7-day notice that, hey, if you have nothing to do with the people that we are really after, you got 7 days to get the fuck out of Dodge. And we're coming in to carpet bomb.
If I'm not mistaken, please correct if I'm wrong, boss man. But the Marines were the first unit go in. It was
That is
Special
correct.
Forces was Marine Corps
That is correct.
on both occasions.
Both occasions. We went in, Iraqi freedom, we went in and we fucked shit up. And we didn't care who it was. If you didn't get your ass out of Dodge and within that 7 days,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. We didn't care. We received orders. We went in and we fucked shit up and we dipped.
Orders are orders. We may not agree on the orders, but we have to follow them. Meaning people, not me myself in general. I'm talking about like yourselves, like yourself, Angry Elf, CQ, you guys, all you service guys who go in. People don't understand that you have orders. You have swore an oath to follow those orders.
Correct.
And if you don't follow those orders, that is the worst. The worst thing you can do is like a sin in any kind of service. Or am I wrong?
That is correct. We have a thing called either lawful order and a direct order. All right. One is able to be kind of scurried around for the most part. You usually get those from your NCOs, but anything else, staff NCOs or above, those are direct orders. And for the most part, if you are going against or antithetical to those direct orders, you can pretty much receive anything from a standard reprimand to a non-judicial punishment, even all the way up to the brig, or even to even a certain type of discharge. Yeah.
One thing we'll always. I never understood.
One thing I did want to mention, and someone else, thank you, Zach Pack, and I imagine that you are a Marine, so simplified to you, Devil. We have to always maintain a level of readiness. This is another distinction between us and the rest of the other branches. Every Marine is a rifleman first. So before you go into your MOS, you will learn how to fight. You will learn how to shoot a rifle. You will learn how to be a component of a detail, a combat unit. You will learn the primary basics of being part of, if you have to be, part of an O3 unit to some degree, okay? Yes, we have a O3 series people that are specifically infantrymen. That's an all O3 series. But even though I was a 3043, I still knew, how to work comms. I knew how to, work and manage a grenade launcher. I knew how to clear and maintain a rifle. I knew how to manage close quarters combat. I knew how to take down someone on a mat. I knew how to clear a room in a four-man tactical movement. We would say detail. I knew how to work comm gear. I knew what words not to say to ensure that someone does not fire on a target again. There's a certain words you cannot repeat or cannot say on comm gear to make sure you're not wasting artillery. You have to know just about everything. So that way, if the main primary O3 people were to go down, they'll say, hey, you, Corporal so-and-so, fill in. So every person, even down to the janitor, is a rifleman, is able to be useful. The other branches, they are so large because, one, they have the funding, but then two, they have the luxury of only doing their one set job. So if the 03 the 3043 equivalent over there will never see a rifle, will never see a pistol, will never see the type of combat experience that I had in the equivocal MOS. They will never have to qual at range. They never have to qual with just combat. They will never see a crucible. They'll never see a gauntlet. They'll never have to see any of that trash. So if someone were to attack a Marine Corps base, stand by for the damn janitor. Okay? Everybody has to be ready to fill in. Everybody. The only jobs that are like really, really special are the pilots and maybe the scientists. Maybe they're like the real specialized ones. But you bet your ass, everybody knows how to clear a room. Everyone knows how to look up, look down, look left, look right, all clear. I'm up, they see me, I'm down. Everyone knows what those words mean. And everyone knows how to tap, rack, bang. Everybody knows what they need to know to ensure that pink mist is achieved. Over.
So the question I got for you is, in civilian terms, you're pretty much cross-trained across the board. Anybody can do anybody's job, just in case one person goes down, God forbid. So if you say your commanding officer goes down, you can step in and take control. Am I understanding that correctly?
Commanding officer, in the MOS, in the billet of a commanding officer, no. But in the function combat-wise, yes.
Yeah, combat I'm talking about, of course.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that makes me fascinated because you just also said the Marine Corps is small versus the Army, the Navy, and so on. How small are you guys versus the other ranks? I mean, the other branches, excuse me.
Sorry, I was reading.
No, you're fine.
Yes, he's absolutely correct. How small? This is just rough estimates. I can look up the numbers. Rough estimate. If the Navy, I'm sorry, if the Air Force is 200,000, right? The Marine Corps is at maybe 80, maybe 50. We are really, really, really small.
I know it's harder to get into the Marine Corps because when I was younger, I mentioned on the channel several times, like I wanted to go to the service, I couldn't, but whatever reasons, So I do know the tests to get in is a lot more stricter and have scored a lot higher versus the other branches.
Okay, wait a second. So here, the Marines are at let's use this number. If the Marines are at 186,000 right now, the Air Force has got to be within at least 500,000 plus. Like we pale in comparison. Okay, so the Navy is at 37,000. That's not including the Marine Corps.
Okay.
You see? So, and the Navy is smaller than the Air Force.
All right. Let's peel back a little bit here for a second.
Okay.
I want to go back, way back. Well,
Sure.
when Bossman was a little Bossman this big,
Shit.
and
Okay.
he's shit, or whatever you want to call it. So, what fascinated you going to service? Why did you go to service? Why would you pick the Marine?
That's a really good question.
Because you had 4 other branches.
I was not. If you had asked me before before, my thought process was, fuck no, I ain't going in the military. I was never gonna go. You couldn't convince me to go. It was never part of my mindset at all. When I moved over to the East Coast, I was going to school, and I recognized that I was literally going to I was literally paying out of the wazoo to go to school, and recognize that I was in debt. And I was not making much of my plan relative to getting established in life. And so I had a lot of people around me, especially at the church and whatnot, at the point in time, that was in the military or had served in the military. And they was like, well, have you considered the military? And I kept being told to consider the military. And so finally someone was like, okay, you should really just go. Because I had apprehensions about it, and I was kind of honestly intimidated about doing it. And so a veteran told me about it once at the church, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go and just do something different, because one of my mindset, or kind of sort of like mantras, was, if you want something different, if you want a different outcome, if you want something that's never happened to you before, you have to do something you've never done. And I've tried other things in my life, like trying to get different jobs. I had tried different avenues, and I kept getting the same results, trying to do something that was basically within my comfort level, right? So I needed to step outside of my comfort level and advance, where I was. So I went to the recruitment center, and my family was telling me that this may not surprise you. My family was telling me that I shouldn't join the military. And the fucked up part about it is that they didn't have confidence in me that I was going to be able to do it. They thought low of me.
That's pretty fucked up.
And they thought that because I was a singer, I was a dancer, I was someone that wasn't, at least looking at me perceivably, they looked at me and said that I was weak, and that I wasn't going to be able to do anything that was perceivably tough to be able to, be worthy of sustaining enough to be able to get through something that was perceivably, from a civilian's point of view, so strenuous and so tough. Okay. They basically thought I was weak. Okay. In other words, which pissed me off, honestly. So, on top of wanting something different for my life, wanting to achieve something, but didn't know how to do it, and men at the church was telling me, here's an avenue for you that I think will be good for you. Hold on a second. I don't know how you got loose, but go back over to mommy.
Special guest. Do we have a special guest on? I don't know. Second one.
I don't know how.
It's fine, dude.
Mommy is fully aware of what I'm doing, so I have no idea how he's fast. So with that in mind, and then the third thing is that I have my own family telling me that I wasn't strong enough to do the very thing. And mind you, none of them fuckers did the shit. never went to school. And half of them didn't pass high school, and half of them didn't, and none of them went to fucking college. How dare they? How fucking dare they? So I went to the Air Force. I went to the Army. I wasn't doing the Navy. I wasn't fucking wearing bell bottoms. You wasn't going to convince me of that shit. Okay. I was not about to sit here and wear no goddamn sailor shit. Okay. No. And I wasn't going to be a seaman either. No. Okay. I can be petty, but I wasn't going to be a fucking petty officer. No. So, and then I went to the Marine Corps. All right. Here's what I found out. The other ones were very uppity. They buffed me off as if I was scum. The Marines looked at me and said, "Tell me your story." That Staff Sergeant Saldivar looked at me and stopped what he was doing and said, "Meet me here at this time, and I want to know your story." Like he grabbed my hand, gave me the strongest handshake of, and it was almost like a brotherly love type of handshake that was almost like bringing me in. It was the weirdest thing. And so we sat down, and he listened to me, and he asked me to tell me my story. And so I told him, and he listened to me as long as I would talk. And he said, "Don't make a decision right now, but I'm going to tell you about my Marine Corps." And he made it seem as though it was this family that would accept anyone as long as you were willing to do the work, as long as you were willing to have the mental fortitude to get through it, as long as you were willing to put up with the bullshit. You was actually able to benefit from everything that it has to offer while you were in and while you were out. And he walked me through it. He asked me what I wanted to do, or at least my interests. He suggested what would be beneficial to me, but he told me honestly what it was going to be. He didn't lie to me. And he said, "Now you're going to walk away from here, and I want you to don't make a decision right now. I want you to think about it. And remember that when you come back to me, have a decision. But when you have a decision, understand that this is a brotherhood and this is a family." I was sold then. I didn't want nothing more than to be a part of this brotherhood for the most part. And sure enough, I made the decision, and he did everything he could to get me in. Like, no shit, this man, like, came and picked me up when my car broke down. He made it his business to ensure that he clipped me under his wing for the most part, and basically did his due diligence to prep me to get ready. Told me I wasn't shit when I was getting discouraged about getting ready to go, but then said, "Hey, you ain't shit right now, but you will be." Why wouldn't I want to be a part of that?
Absolutely. I always see a lot of people go in. I have a lot of friends going as boys, but coming out as men. I don't care what branch, but specifically the Marine Corps. I know more Army and Marines. That's the two branches I was focused on at one point. When I was thinking about going in, it was my mom says, "Oh, go to the Navy," because my grandfather was in the Navy, my godfather, everybody was in the Navy. And I'm like, I don't want to be in the fucking Navy. And I'm like, that's the boring part. I want to have where fun is. So obviously I didn't get in, but I remember the one recruiter I met. He just something about it hit me. Staff Sergeant Lopez, the way he carried himself was a different aura. The way he shook my hand, the way he spoke to me, I'm like, this is different. And I liked it. And I'll be honest with you guys, the uniform is kick ass. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love the uniform. Definitely with the sword, put it as everything. How many uniforms you still know have swords these days in American? I'm not talking about European. European don't count. That's all I have to say. I'll leave it to you, boss man.
Well, honestly, all of them do have swords. It's just ours is
On
arguably
here.
the best because we have two. On the illicit side, it is the I forget ours. I only know I remember the officer side is the Mameluke sword. I forget our side, the enlisted side, because I only paid attention to the Mameluke because it's the one that I really liked. But it's called the NCO sword. It's the colloquial name of it, but I forget the actual name of it. Okay, so the NCO saber. Okay, yeah, I knew it as the NCO sword. Is what we called it while we were in. But the Mameluke is the officer's sword, and is named after the of an officer named Mameluke. In a battle, I believe is the Battle of Tripoli. I do believe is the battle from that officer. But yeah, we're the ones that actually flaunt it the most. Okay, but all of them technically, even the army does have a sword. They do, but ours it's badass. Okay, and I'm not gonna
And,
lie, it's
and the second
badass.
thing about the Marines I liked also is the uniform. The uniform is sharp. I gotta give you guys credit. It was due. Sharp. And the third, this one is
Simplified Devil.
is the theme song you guys have. Every
Oh,
service has of every brand has a theme song, but the Marine Corps theme song is the only one that when you hear it once, you never forget it. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, even sometimes it just pops in my fucking head. I'm
Yep.
like, God damn it, not
From the halls
again.
of Montezuma,
Yeah.
to the halls of Montezuma, to the shores of Tripoli. I forget the actual words of it all the way through, but I know the actual tune. Yes.
And you gotta give them credit. Like they forget the service part of it. Promote it right because it is a business at the end of the day. They have to promote it to get you guys in here. They did a very good fucking job. You have a sergeant uniform that girls will probably drop their panties as fast as they can look at
And
you.
do.
Okay, I'm giving you too much credit. The second, the sword, you like, listen, if you don't have a knife, you need to cut your steak. I got a fucking sword. What else? And you want to attach a tune with it? You're like a rock star now. Like, the only thing you know for writing autographs yet.
Say the last part again. Something
You're
about
not
the
signing
autographs.
autographs. Yeah.
I have never actually. Is people signing autographs for in their uniform?
I actually met a soldier. He was retired. His name was Chris Tanto. Tanto was one of the survivors of 13 hours. I know he's not a Marine, but he's one of the soldiers. I have actually his autograph. He's not in his 13-hour book. He was one of the
Really?
survivors from 13 hours. Yeah.
And
He's
no one's ever
retired
asked
now.
me for my autograph there, Sparta.
Wait,
I
let me ask
also
you a question.
don't walk
Let me ask you a
around with
question.
my uniform on though. But then again, I listen. I only have
Let me ask you this
two
question then.
two chevrons and two chest candies.
Let me ask you this question. You're married, right?
Yes.
You gotta sign that paper document, right?
Yes.
There you go. You told me to ask your autograph.
Ah.
I got you that
Ah.
one. No, seriously. Do you guys have some morals that and live? And one question I always ask, nobody could give me a straight answer to this. Maybe you
Okay.
can. We hear a Navy, Army, any other branch of the Marines. He says, I was, I'm a retired Navy. I'm retired Army. You guys never say you're retired. I'm a veteran. I am a Marine.
Correct.
Why is that different?
You heard me say it earlier that I am a Marine.
Yes.
We don't. How do I word it? Okay. So you notice that when you refer to someone in the army, they are a soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you see someone that's in the Navy, they are a seaman, right? Or a sailor, right? An Air Force member is a airman, right?
Correct.
But a Marine in the Marines is a Marine. We are a part of the title is us. We are it. The title is us, and we are and we are the title.
Mm-hmm.
And we take ownership of the name of the actual department, name of the actual entity. And so, because it's such a close niche, we don't distinguish ourselves from the actual unit or the actual department in itself. It's small brothers club, so we hold on to that and we take pride in that. And so, because of that pride, we don't separate ourselves from it. So no, people who are part of the army, they're soldiers, fine. But we as Marines, we are and will always be Marines. And because it's such a coveted space, and very few people even consider the Marine Corps. And if they are considering it, very few people actually can even make it.
That's
and
true.
then if they can even make it and qualify for it, very few people can actually get through the training. Because I tell you, the guy who depoted with me, I'll tell you this story. The guy who depoted with me, he was taller, he was arguably stronger, he was faster than me. He was more fit. People who go in the Marine Corps, if you're more buff, you become thinner. If you're thinner, you become more buff. It's just the strangest thing in the world. But everybody does the opposite whenever they go in and get out of training. And so what ends up happening is this guy came in with me. And honestly, I was going to kind of, we were depot buddies, basically. We went through MEPS together, which MEPS is a whole nother story. Okay, I hate that Zach Pack went because I was going to mention MEPS, and yeah, that's a whole other nightmare. But got through MEPS together.
On that?
Huh?
You have a little PTSD on MEPS?
MEPS, MEPS? Yeah.
Yeah. I can see you eyes going like, oh, no, we're not talking about that. But we're going to.
We can go into MEPS, all right?
Yeah, we're going to too. Don't worry.
The duck doing the duck walk and bending over and cough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So now you can say pause, BMU. All right. So all right. But yeah, we got through all that, and then we get in there, and we step on the yellow footprints and whatever, and then we get there, and we get through all the yelling, and we get through 2 weeks of being there, and he bitches out. He literally gets to a point where he's balled up in the corner. He's in the corner of the barracks, and he bitched out, and he sat there. And when you do that, the other drill instructors, they come in and they yell in your face and they call you. I mean, first of all, I was a bitch for 3.5 months. Like the other 70, 80 some of us. I wasn't BOSSMAN or my actual name. I wasn't recruit. I wasn't private. I was literally bitch. That was my name. Okay. All of our names was bitch. Okay. But he literally bitched out and sat there. And so they found me because they obviously did their research to figure out who came in with me. And they said, bitch, go over and talk to the other bitch, And I'm like, hi, sir, So I go over there and try to talk. And I'm like, yo, man, the fuck, man. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, bitch, are you serious? Like, bitch, are you serious? Because they're like, you're putting attention on me, and I got 5 DIs on my ass because you bitching out. Like, bitch, you're supposed to be the fucking strong one. Like, what the fuck? And so he sat there. So here's what happened. He was fed, but he was fed lunch boxes. And so they made me eat in front of him the real food, made me eat in front of him the good shit. and gave him the bad shit for a
He
few
cracked.
to try to crack him. Didn't work. He literally sat there through training, through lunch, through breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 days until our father is the senior drill instructor. That's pretty much daddy. Okay. And you can pause on that too, BMU, but I'm telling you something. You always want to make daddy happy, because if father is mad at you inside of the yeah, if daddy is upset inside of the barracks, you
You get a
have
spanking.
four, essentially you get 4 DIs. We call those the kill hats. The 4 kill hats will make your life a living hell. And you're only supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be called instructive training is what it's called.
Okay.
Y'all know it as hazing.
I've heard some crazy fucking stories from other Marines. Like a Marine got into the wrong
Oh wait, hold
unit
on,
by accident.
hold on
Right.
1 second. So what ended up happening is they sent him home. He bitched out. Okay.
I thought
And
you couldn't do that. I thought you're signing a contract. You're in.
so technically, no, you're not supposed to, but because of the fact that you're not supposed to be able to do that. The problem is that there are certain mechanisms in place where you can't just, beat the person. And what do you do in a situation where it's creating a disruption in the training? So what they end up doing is they end up sending him back. Now he didn't get any benefits. He didn't get anything because he didn't pass training. Okay, his payment stopped because you're getting paid while you're in there. Okay, so he got paid for the 2 weeks that he was there, but then they sent him back. Okay, what ended up happening is that the commanding officer of the battalion came in and talked to him and sent him back. Now, this is the person who was stronger than me, taller than me, bigger than me, supposedly tougher than me, couldn't do it. So, whatevs. I earned that damn title because I was determined to earn it.
Yeah, and probably it was the most emotional day when they put the medal. I mean, the eagle with the globe in your
EGA.
hand. Yes, thank you. They place it in your hand, right?
Yeah, they place it in your hand
With pin opening. Or am I wrong?
Yeah. They make it hurt.
Yeah, but you earned it.
That's right.
You can earn the last part of it too.
I earned that too. That's right. Damn right.
Yeah.
The question you was going to ask about the hazing.
Yeah, it wasn't hazing. Stories I heard, like people were like, a buddy of mine, again, during boot camp, when they get the mail, he went to the wrong Braddock. Sergeant comes out and looks at him like, "Who the fuck are you?" They smoked him because he was in the wrong place, and the sergeant was in pissed off mood already. Now you even put him in a worse mood. Good job on that, buddy. I've heard so many horror stories about piss off that your
DIs. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. They're only supposed to instructively train you for supposedly only a maximum amount of 2 minutes. And I'm sorry, it's intense training for 2 minutes. Okay, and this is that if you ever see it in the movies, it's when they're in the sand pit, and the drill instructor is just like, "Okay, do this now for 2 minutes. Okay, get out of there, scream at me." It's that, and the poor sap is like jumping up and down, switching stuff really, really fast, but they're inside of the sand pit, okay? And they're just sweating, crying, sand's in their eye, and the drill instructor is like, "You're not screaming at me." Yeah, it's what's happening right there. That's called intense training. Okay? That's punishment is what the drill instructor is doing technically. That private or that recruit did something wrong to deserve that. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. Here's what happens. The watch is supposed to be on for 2 minutes. It's not ticking.
They found a loophole in that, didn't they, fuckers?
So when the commanding general comes by, or the CO comes by, or when dad comes around, the platoon sergeant comes around, which is usually a staff NCO. He wears the black belt, not the green belt with the gold buckle, but the black
Yeah.
belt with the gold buckle. That's a platoon sergeant. Okay. Or the senior drill instructor. Okay. Senior drill instructor. So you got the senior drill instructor, and you have the drill hat, and you have the kill hat. Okay. Kill hat. So you got 4 kill hats, 1 drill hat, and you have the senior hat. He comes by, and then the kill hat starts ticking away at the watch, but they always have it set at like 30 seconds. Now, what they'll do is they'll then say, okay, you're done right now, go, right? But then what they'll do is they'll whisper in your ear and say, if you say anything at nighttime, I'm on duty and I'm gonna get mine. That means I'm gonna wake you up, you're not gonna get any sleep, and we're gonna play fuck games. Now you can say pause, BMU. But what fuck games means is that we're gonna play race cars in the barracks. Race cars mean is that we're gonna wet the deck of the floor of the barracks.
I heard about this.
And then we're gonna make you push this scuzz brush. The scuzz brush is only about that long, and you're gonna get on your hands and knees, and you're gonna push the scuzz brush all the way around the floor on your hands and knees. Now imagine. Thank you, bro. Bro's nails clean. Thank you. Nails clean. Yes, thank you. Why are most Marines first term? Why are most Marines first terms ETS? I don't know. Oh, you mean why are we always usually the ones to only do 1 term and then out? Is that what you mean? Let me know. So what ended up happening is that we would get our punishment at the end of the night if we were to say anything or give any indication to say help,
like,
or
don't
we'll island hop. Do you know what island hopping means?
No.
Island hopping means that we'll go from or island touring, and it means we go from sandpit to sandpit to sandpit to sandpit. Technically, it's 2 minutes per sandpit.
Oh, sneaky little fuckers.
Yeah. So it depends on really how bad that you fucked up. Essentially, if you embarrass them, or if you do something that you weren't supposed to do, or if you didn't clean something good enough, or if you didn't move fast enough. It really just depends on how their moods are. Or if they had or here's a good one. If you had a competition if they had some unknown competition between the 2 platoons within the battalion, well, they compete, and they basically they say, all right, we're competing against them against the masses over there. If you lose, here's your punishment. And essentially, it's basically like we're out there in the field, and we're doing like we're doing like drills, like we're doing like course drills where we're jumping through stuff and like climbing up ropes and training like that. And essentially, it's all timed. And so if we collectively make them lose against the other platoon, who's usually bad or whatever the case may be, our punishment is fill in the blank. It's basically an incentive to basically get your ass up and move. We thought this all sounds really bad, but here's what it does. It breaks the mind down from this concept of trophy participation trophy shit. And it breaks the mind down out of the societal view of what life is. It makes you think this is life now. Okay. And it gives you a sense of
I can see that.
pride.
One thing I remember when I met one first George Sargent, he became my neighbor. I come outside my house and he's looking at a tree. He's screaming at a tree. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with this motherfucker? So I walk over there. I go, excuse me, dude. He goes, he looked
He's
at
a
me
DI.
like, I goes, yeah. And like, did the tree do something wrong to you? I was 15 at the time. I was young. Like, no. He goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you screaming at the tree? I'm like, it's part of my job. Whoa, whoa,
Yes.
whoa, whoa. And he goes, any other questions, kid? I go, what is your job? I'm a Marine. So your job, and like they sat me down, explained the whole 9 yards, and I hooked up with the other George Hodge and stuff like that. But let's tackle this one question we have in the chat really fast before we move on. Where is it? Drew says, why do most Marines get out after their first
Enlistment right here.
enlistment?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
So, well, to your point, the guy was screaming at the tree because that's part of their training as a drill instructor. They have to scream at the tree. Literally,
Yeah,
I kid you not. Yeah.
I realized that afterwards.
Yeah.
They have to
all
say
right.
their voice to project, correct?
Project like this, yeah. Yep. Project, but also save the vocal cords to not break them. Correct.
Yeah.
All right. So why do most Marines get out of their first enlistment? It is because I perceive it to be that most of them don't. First of all, the Marine Corps life in itself is rough. The bases themselves are not very well kept. They're not. We don't receive the greatest funding in the world. Okay. And it's a constant cycle of being ready to constantly fight. And if you get in without the concept of wanting to make it a career, or make it a career, you're going to get out within the first 4 years, within your first tour. Most people, when they join any military branch, the concept is to get in order to get the benefits. Very few people, whenever they go into any branch, stay in with the concept of going in for the long haul. Very few of them actually do that. Okay. This is why you have such a short window of people to make it to E8, E7 and above. Good number of people get to E6, but that E7 to E8, I mean E9, very rough. Okay. Not to mention the life of an enlisted, not officer branch, not officer side, but enlisted side. Think about it. Okay. Just walk this journey with me for a second. Before I was medically separated, okay, I had gone through all that I just told you. I had went for military combat training. All right. I had gone to mountain warfare training. I had hiked and packed and whatnot for over 50 miles of hiking in less than 3.5 years. I had to run a 3.5 mile PFT every year. And then do a CFT to qual every 6 months. No, I'm sorry, every year. Yeah, that was yearly actually. And then it's a lot. And then on top of that, do my actual job, which was, supply and fiscal management and administration. And then whenever the CG of this combat logistics battalion decides that, you know what, I think we want to do a random hike today, he would just call everybody and say, you know what? Next week, we're going to do a hike. Round up your SIF gear. Let's go. Or, you know what? I think we're going to do a piss test today. Everybody was a mandatory call in. And you're always on duty. Even though, oh, that's why I'm confused, because Lady Navo is on my side over here. Okay. All right. That's why I'm confused. Okay. Even though, so it's constantly, you're always belonging to the government, the core. So for people who don't want to make that transition and make it part of their lives all the time, yeah, once they get through the BS of being a E1, E2, E3, and then they don't make it to actually qualify to be a NCO, yeah, they out. They got their GI Bill, and they can go to school. Out.
I didn't know that about the Marines, to be honest with you. I thought a lot of them, few the proud Marines, you thought they go for long run, most of them. Because you go through all that, you go through hell and back. You go through Satan's sperm to get out of that. Boot camp is like besides special forces, and I'm gonna ask you a question on that in a second. Besides special forces, it's a good point. So besides special forces, every other branch has their boot camp. But I know Marine is the worst one. When I was thinking about going, everybody who was veteran and used to come out, my dad goes, "You think about Marine?" Looked at me like, "Good luck, you're gonna need it." I'm like, okay, it can't be that fucking bad. Like, again, go back to what I was saying. I'm surprised I'm hearing all this from you, because most times I see Marines out or in a young age is usually because they got hurt in the combat zone. So we'll get that in 1 second. Before we do that, I want to ask you a question. The boot camp is hard enough, but Marines has their own special forces, of course. How more extreme is training from your knowledge? I know you were not special forces, I assume. But how more extreme is your training from a regular Marine training to special forces training for a Marine?
Okay.
Well, I got to go. I got going that, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay. So, Drew, I'm going to answer your question a little bit later. Okay. So, Drew took the words right out of my mouth, right here.
Okay.
Okay. So it's okay. So yes. Okay. So yeah, it's Marsoc. Okay. I see he's asking a question. Okay. So it's Marsoc. Okay. That's our like SEAL Team 6 type. That's Marsoc.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. You asking how much more intense is the training? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, if I had to imagine it, because I really don't know for sure because I didn't go through it, but if I had to imagine it, take my training that I went through, okay, and then put it through a goddamn garbage disposal, and then throw it in and then throw that into a fucking cauldron, and then blast that damn thing times like 1,000,000 goddamn degrees, okay, and then freeze it in liquid nitrogen. That's how hard it is. Okay,
really that extreme?
Because let me tell you something. When I was at the mountain warfare training, those guys, the guys I'm talking about, the Marsoc dudes, those guys, we were asleep on the mountain, and those guys flew in. They flew in from 20 miles away. They hiked in less than 12 hours
Mhm.
to us and silently came up to us, all of us, to include our commanding officer, and topped us while we were asleep and said, "You're dead," and walked away.
God damn. And I thought Navy SEALs in Delta was actually extreme.
Let me tell you something. The Marsoc boys are the nasty work. They
I've
got us.
heard about them.
They got us all before we even knew it, and then got up to the top of all of us, and then fired their rounds and said, "By the way, all y'all are dead if y'all didn't know it." But before they did that, whispered to us all, "You're dead." The scariest goddamn thing, mind you. I didn't get any sleep in the Marine Corps. When I was training in the field, I slept very light. Okay, because I had to be. I'll tell you that burns if it's like yes. Okay, listen, they. I don't even know how they walk that damn quietly because it was on the mountain. It was hot, and then everything and all the and all, everything froze at night because it was cold. So we had to dig ourselves into the ground to keep from freezing. Those little e-tool things, yeah, they're not useless. We had to dig ourselves into the damn ground. Okay, so I don't everything crunched around us. So I don't know how. I just don't know how. Man, you're dead, and walked away.
So one thing I will say is that's part of my martial art training. Silent walk is actually you walk on your ball your foot, even on shoes. And like my boss gets mad at me at all times. I walk by and I go, "Hey," he jumps in 10 feet. I'm like, "God damn, I fucking hate when you do that." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "You're silent and it's deadly and he's gonna shit my pants one of these fucking days." Because I walk on my ball on my feet for so many years. I don't walk on my heel like most people do. Most people put the heel down. I don't. I put the ball down first. It's weird. I know it makes no sense. So when I put my heel down, I reverse it really fast.
Oh no, Lady Novo. It was perfectly fine because once we got up, no, once we got up, we looked around and it was like we were almost starstruck because we had actually came face to face with what was ideally like death, but we were like, "Yo, was that like?" We were like it was almost like fanboys. It's like, well, "Yo, was that Marsoc really? Damn, them boys are bad, man." Like we were happy about it at the same time, but we
Yeah,
were
like seeing your
also
favorite
like,
wrestler in a way.
"Damn, they got us good. Them motherfuckers bad."
So you hear about Navy SEALs, you hear about Rangers, you hear about Delta. You never hear
Mhm.
about these guys. Why is that? You think?
That's intentional. Um,
I figure as much.
yeah, that's really intentional. It's because my personal opinion, I think it's because we don't advertise. If you notice, the Marines aren't necessarily advertised as much, but this unit in particular, because they work directly on behalf of and at the pleasure of the president, without such visibility from the other from like Congress, anything of that nature, they do some unscrupulous things. So I can imagine it's on purpose as to why they are not well known.
Mhm.
We know about them, and the other boys know about them because they do units together. But yeah, no, it's very wise that America doesn't necessarily know too much about Marsoc.
Crazy stories, I assume that we can't talk on the air right now. Probably.
Correct.
Okay, let's move on to our next subject then. So we talked about your boot camp. Let's talk about a couple of your deployments. How was your first deployment? Was it everything you expected? or was it more like what the fuck?
So correction, I never deployed.
Oh, I
I wanted,
apologize.
I wanted to. I signed up for deployment.
Hmm.
In fact, on so when you so before you are after your training and after boot camp, you go to this building and you're able to sign and say, hey, where do you want to go? I literally put anywhere but CONUS. CONUS means continent of the United States. Anywhere but CONUS.
Why is that?
Because I wanted to get away from home. Remember, I told you my family. I wanted to get away from them because when I came,
You
because
did,
because
yes.
when I put on that uniform and I walked through that front door, it was proof to them that the doubt that y'all had for me, I wanted to say to them that y'all were wrong about my own fortitude. So it was the biggest fuck y'all with a smile.
Hmm.
And then I wanted to get away as far away as possible with the branch that nobody else in my family ever thought about going to, and the branch that no one ever thought I could ever do, because apparently they were the toughest. And they are. But my light skinned pretty ass apparently could never be tough enough to do. And that other people that I watched, I ran right past them because they bitched out. And the people that I listen to and talk to and engage with, even today, that look at me and doubt me today, couldn't fathom the fucking shit I've been through in the Marine Corps. Couldn't fathom going through, but had the gall to look at me and say that I'm less than because of the way I look. Constant judging a book by its cover.
And very young age, we all are taught in school and everywhere, don't judge a book by a cover.
Constantly.
And your own family does it, and it's done it to me too. And I love doing the big "fuck you," and I was right. And somebody told me, like, sometimes I'm a little naive or cocky, arrogant, stuck up. Yeah, I earned that right because the way my family treated me. So when I say "I told you so," yeah, I'm a little cocky when I say that. No, Lenore has a question for you. How are you with your family now?
A little estranged.
Okay.
I distant. Oh, I didn't see this. Thank you. um, I meant to say this one. There you go. I'm a little estranged with them because like I healed with them from their initial perceptions, but as I established my own family, they seem to have expectations of me because of what I do now. Which somebody asked me earlier, what do I do now? Here we go.
Yeah, what do you do for a living now as a
Which I
civilian?
can't divulge. But because of that and my service in the military, they have this expectation of me to either give back to them or to do something for them. No, I have a family, and my devotion is to my family. My resources, my time and effort and whatnot is to my family. The one I'm responsible for,
Hmm.
not the ones that are blood relative. And this expectation that I'm supposed to provide or help you, you're bugging, and you're bugging hard. So I'm estranged to them because I kind of have to be in order to ensure that I'm not feeling as though I have to. I'm not feeling as though there's something wrong with me for not reaching to them or giving to them, if that makes any sense. But it's for that reason. And then there's another component where they have this issue because I'm the youngest of the generation that provided an offspring that is the youngest of that generation. So I'm the youngest twice over. So they have a respect problem, and I constantly need to check their asses.
It seems when people who are more successful, who have worked the hardest, their family doesn't want to give them the respect.
Correct.
I'm there too. Like my family has literally cut me off, and I'm good with that actually. Because if you cannot be there when when I was down, now that I'm actually growing and being very successful, go fuck yourself. I don't need you then. I don't need you now. I'm straight with that.
Yeah, and and until later Novoa's point, I've often found closer niches and closer familial like ties to other people that are more like friends. I mean, they're friends, but more like family than I have with my own blood. Because blood seems to have expectations that I don't quite understand. Like my in-law, my in-law family, my family-in-law, they are more understanding than my own blood relatives. I will ignore my blood relative calls. Now, maybe they're calling and telling me that someone has passed, but I'm estranged. I've always been estranged most of my life with them. So who are they? And that sounds
I want to
awful,
agree.
but
I want to agree with something you just said. Your brothers, including myself and some people you met, are more closer to you than your own family. I want to back you up on that. I'll tell you why.
sure.
Because I mentioned before when my mom got diagnosed with cancer, everybody told me to go fuck myself pretty much, and they didn't want to support me when I needed a little support. I didn't want money, just needed this ear, maybe a shoulder to cry on, tell me, hey, you're doing a good job, kind of thing. All right. So CQ's always been my best friend. He's part of my clique. He's been there. King Smith came to my life. He became one of my other best friends. All these guys, Paul, and so on. You guys became more my family than my own family. I can call you guys. I know you might. Some of you guys may have across country, but I know you guys be on a first plane coming in. Say, you do what you kind of do, or drive an 8-hour drive to come see, help me out. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're my brother, you're my brother. End of the day. I want to leave it at that. I think you guys can get diagnosed from there.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You can find that a lot more with people that have a genuine care for people than you can with people who are quote unquote supposed to have that, and that being your family.
Correct.
Because it seems like family has expectations of you and doesn't seem to have a high receptivity rate of having expectations of them. And that's usually because they are either older than you or generationally they're higher than you on the generational tree.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my issue, is that I am the lowest of the low on the generational tree. And so fuck them. I'm creating my own shit over here. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get away as much as possible. And what I found out is that my cousins, they did the same thing. I have a cousin who is in the Air Force, and he's Air Force Special Forces. And he would rather get shot multiple times.
God damn.
Than to be even on the continent of the United States.
That bad, huh?
That bad.
Jeez.
He does not want to be. He will reach out to me, but he would rather be. This man has gone through a lot. in the Air Force. He will not get out. And he would much rather be in and away from my family. And I agree with him.
Mhm. Let's swing back where you left off.
Sure.
You're about to get your orders where you wanted to be deployed by. You didn't, you said, correct?
I did not.
Okay, where will you end up stationed then?
Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Ironic in a way. Because isn't that where you're from originally? I thought you was where you were originally from.
Mm-mm.
So how was your first assignment?
Boring. It was boring because the location that I was in is right next to Havelock, or I call it Have Not, North Carolina. It was dull. It was boring. So my first assignment, it turned out to be my only assignment, because what ended up happening is, so I got detailed a lot to different things. Like I told you about the one detail, which was the mountain warfare training. We was preparing for things that pop off in one particular place. So we did a lot of, so because we were in garrison just means that we were like not necessarily active in war, but we were preparing for it. I got a lot of like randomized training, like training to go on a mule, training to go in a submarine, training like again, Marines are always training. Some randomized training to go and take out an embassy. It's weird. That was for MSG, Marine Security Guard. It's weird. I always was in training. It's the weirdest thing. I was all that command, because I was stationed. Okay, so Cherry Point it's a air base essentially, and the command that I was on, the command I was attached to, is a ground unit that is detached from a particular another base essentially. So we provided ground support to the ground vehicles of the air wing. Essentially, it's a wing. Okay, and you can look it up. It's a Marine Corps Air Base, or MCAB Cherry Point. Essentially, anybody can look it up. And my unit was CLC 21, essentially.
Mhm.
So essentially what we were doing there was providing support to the wing, and my MOS was supply, essentially. And I was providing supply accountability management and financial and fiscal administration. That was my MOS. And in my off time of doing either clerical either maintenance, tracking, and inventorial managerial work, there was training to do. There was qualifying to do. There was also combat training that we were doing as well. CQC training, close quarter combat training, to fill in those times to maintain readiness, because we were getting random orders from the CG at Lejeune. So, and then things would just stop. And then we get some random. So it was always topsy-turvy for the most part, because of our close proximity of the relative to DC.
Mhm.
So how was my time? It was weird. It was boring, but it was weird. It was constant up and down, up and down, up and down, not knowing what was going to happen. And we get some random visit from some brigadier general to come down and say, hey, so and so and so and so from important generals, I'll just say that, might be doing something. Be ready to, you might be deploying. We got order. We got suggested that we might deploy, right? But we never did.
Okay. So here's a little funny story to me. You're gonna laugh your ass off with this one.
All right.
So I was going to DC for vacation, right? I got lost. My GPS just had me going in circles because whoever designed DC is a fucking moron because it has, all these, what I'm talking about, those traffic circles. So I didn't know I pulled over
Roundabouts.
next Green Bay's in Virginia. Didn't know that. So I pulled over.
You didn't.
I get out. Wait, it gets better. I got out of the car. I woke up. Next thing I know, it goes. I'm like, I'm American. Don't fucking shoot me. Okay, I'm like,
buddy.
They looked at me. He goes, "Are you stupid or retarded?" I went, "Neither. I'm fucking lost. That's what I am. Can I get directions?" I'm like, and one guy saw my tattoo. He goes, "Are you a serviceman?" I'm like, "No, but I have a lot of friends in the service, and I'm looking for X, Y, Z, and I need to go to X, Y, Z." He goes, "Oh, we know that dumbass. He's stationed here." I'm going, "Huh?"
Lucky for you, it's a small world, Sparta.
Why I said that?
Because the fact that they knew who that person was.
Yeah. So as I'm saying that to him, I go, "Can you guys do me a favor? Like, what's that kid?" And he go, "Can you put the guns down?" And so I'm not breathing down my nostrils. So he goes, "That would have helped, but this is way too funny. Make you shit your pants. Like, you Marines are fucking comedians. Go fuck yourselves." I went to him. And he goes, "Yep, you're definitely so-and-so's friend. We heard about you. You have a mouth on you. He'll be out in a few minutes. Don't worry. You can sit right in your car, nice and quiet, like a good little boy. Like, and you can suck my ass." I went to him. So,
yeah,
sounds like right, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were purpose. we were purpose. Did I tell you we like playing fuck games? Did I tell you that?
Oh, I gotta hear this. I have to hear this now. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that's evidence of the fact that we like playing fuck games. We like playing and doing random things just to like take a situation and then making it just unnecessarily stupid.
Yeah, I
because we could have just tapped the window and just said, "Hey, are you lost?" Or no. What we had to do was basically point a weapon at you, and it made you fear for your fucking life.
It gets better. It gets better, actually. So we were sightseeing. So, it was during the end of Obama's presidency, and Hillary and Trump were going at it to see who's going to be a runner-up against whoever it was at the time. So Secret Service is on top of the roof. These guys are in civilian clothes. My friend goes, nods me. He goes, "Yo, dude, check it out. Sniper's looking at you." I think he's fucking around. I look up. He's looking at me. Seriously. He's found it. I go, "Hi." My friend goes, "You better fucking move, motherfucker." Gun drop the deck. I go, "What?" I'm waving back. The Secret Service goes, waves back at me. I go, "Why is that a bad thing?" He goes, "You're a fucking civilian. You're a dumbass, dude. You could have been shot."
You could have been shot, yes.
For what? Waving at him? I went to him like, he didn't know that you're a threat at that point.
Yeah.
Like, but what if you like the news? He goes, "You're a dead motherfucker. It doesn't matter now."
Yeah, if they're scoping at you, yeah, they're perceiving you as a threat. Yes. Because literally because of your proximity.
Yeah.
And,
I was right.
Yeah.
At that year, they didn't want to let you go near the gates. They had the gates, then they had another barricade. Something was going on because even in the air, you saw droids all over the air. Like, what the fuck is going on? It was during 4th of July weekend too, on top of that.
Got it. Yeah.
So something was up. Something that I would never find out, but something was up. So
something was amiss.
Yeah. So you talked about you mentioned you were medically discharged, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it was after after the Mountain Warfare training.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I told you I was like hiking, doing a lot of hiking, 10,000 feet elevation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a lot. I cannot express to you how much hiking that was. Um, and just to give you an idea of how much weight that is on a pack, we're talking. So at that point, I was 100 and actually, it's about how much I weigh now. Actually, so I was about maybe 161, 62 pounds. The pack itself was about 140 some odd pounds is how much the pack was. So plus rifle.
Okay.
So we're packing that up, okay, constantly. All right. So anyway, that was what I was carrying most of the time. All right. So anywho, so I get done with that. I survive that. Cool. Great. We also did rock face climbing as well, and practicing like combat movements and stuff on the rock face as well. It was pretty cool. Um, yeah, Lady Navoa says heavy. Yes. Okay.
I'm not mistaken,
Eh,
boss man. Can you please correct me? Like about 300 pounds per pack.
Yeah, it can get up to it can get up to 300 pounds.
I
Especially
was actually funny you mentioned this because me and CQ were actually just talking about this on my way home from work, and he's talking about his back, and he says, "Like, dude, it's funny. I fuck my back up. I'm shoveling snow, but I don't fuck my back up. I'm carrying 300 pounds on a backpack. During deployments or a fucking hole or something like that."
that's because of the weight placement. So
Mm-hmm.
that okay. So and especially so the reason why my pack, I think, and I say I think because it wasn't like weighing the backpack. It might have been heavier than that. I'm not entirely sure, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the weight placement. So you have straps that you're able to strap it up in a certain way where the weight is higher to the point where you're able to maneuver it and balance it a little bit better. So you're able to lean forward a bit, whatever, and not have it so much on the lower part of the back. That's the reason why.
Okay.
Um, hey, what's up? What's up, guy? How you doing? So I get through all that, rappelling off of rocks, zip lining across, a gorge, doing nice shit, right? Okay, okay, okay. I get back and we're doing a motivated PT. And they say, hey, we're gonna do, boots and utes, PT. Boots and utes means that, we're gonna do like you have your camis on, but you take the camis blouse off, and it's just like the green shirt with the camis bottoms, but you have the boots on, boots and utes, boots and utilities. Okay, cool. No problem. I just got done hiking, and for the most part, the air down here at this elevation is great because I was struggling to breathe, 10,000 feet elevation.
Of course.
So wonderful, cool. So I'm kicking ass, man. Okay, at this point, hey, simplify. All right. I'm kicking ass, man. Like, boss man is like, corporal boss man is like kicking ass now, right? And so, no, at this point, I was still Lance. So, Lance Corporal, boss man is kicking ass, man. It was like, what's with this guy? And so, then they say we do all this, and we're having fun. Okay, this is fun for me. So, I actually am in line for, and we do this for a while, and I'm in line for a meritorious promotion. Okay, my training is good. I I literally just got my gray belt for combat. Okay, for a McMap. Okay, I just got my combat. I just survived the damn gauntlet. Which the gauntlet, just to explain what the gauntlet is. You know what a gauntlet is, right?
Well, I know it, but I'll let you explain it because you can explain it better than I can.
All right. So the gauntlet. is essentially so after you get through the regular training and the regular mat training where you're grappling and you're learning all the techniques and so on and so forth, and you're doing a one-on-one grappling, one-on-one slap matting, and this, that, and the other, yada, yada, and getting your ass kicked, and you kicking some ass a little bit, whatever the case may be. You get through the test and all that good stuff. You have to earn your belt. And so the instructor signs my belt, puts it inside of the shed, inside of the warehouse that we were in, but it's in the dark. And so he puts it at the end of it, and the instructor, who is a black belt, red tab, okay, so he is a master with a red tab, so he's like a black belt with a gold star on it, if I had to put it in like karate terms, okay, so he's like super fucking black belt shit, okay,
so he's a grandmaster, in other words.
Thank you, okay. Then you got his co-instructors who are also black belts. And then you have 2 brown belts, which is 1 step below the black belt. Okay. They're all there. And now rank-wise, so they all take off their ranks during this, because the rule is in the Marine Corps that you can pretty much get down as long as you take off the rank. Okay. So if you and I got a beef and you take off the rank, all bets are off. And there's no respect factor. There's no "I sir." There's no "yes, gunnery sergeant." There's none of that shit. We take off this. We take off these chevrons, and you can get these hands. Okay, pretty much. All right. And once we put on these chevrons, it's back to saluting and parade rest. Okay, that's how this works. Yeah. There you go. You got it. So my belt is in there, and I got these, and so we have a couple of sergeants, we have a staff sergeant, and we have a gunny sergeant. So we set the scene. I come in, my lance corporal ass has to fight all of them.
How scrawny were you back then?
Oh, I was only like right now. You see me now. I'm a $166 right now.
I thought you were $120, dude.
No.
From the camera, to me, at least you look like a scrawny little shit.
No.
No offense.
I appreciate it, but no, I'm like a $160, $165. So even then, I was a $161. So that's why I can still like that uniform picture that's using my background. I can still fit it. That was me outside of the Marine Corps. That wasn't me in the Marine Corps.
Okay. So the question
they wouldn't allow a mustache in the Marine Corps. Are you kidding me?
I thought you allowed a mustache in the Marine Corps.
When I was in the Marine Corps, they wouldn't allow no fucking mustache. Not in my Marine Corps.
Later Renora is asking, how tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
You're my height.
Yeah.
But I got a lot more here to give.
Yeah, I mean, I have some there, but I don't have as much. But I have some. Okay. The only difference between then me and now me is that I don't have a 6-pack anymore. That's it.
Okay. So you were saying you get your belt, you gotta kick somebody's ass, but you were outnumbered.
And essentially, I had to fight all of them. Essentially. Kick ass, punch who I had to punch in the dark, by the way. So I couldn't see them. Fight all of them, whatever the case may be. So I get through all of that. Got the goddamn belt, okay? Mind you, I come out bruised. I hit my staff sergeant in the damn nose, broke his nose.
Payback, motherfucker.
But I ended up kicking him because he ended up trying to take off my damn. I don't know why he was trying to take off my damn sock, but I round kicked him in the damn face. But again, I didn't know it was him. I don't know why he was trying to take off my damn sock in the middle of all I felt was somebody was trying to take off, because I was on the ground. We were grappling, and I ended up turning and round kicked him with my other leg, and it was him. Didn't know it, whatever the case may be. And I heard somebody else's voice, and I palm smashed him in the damn throat. But whatever the case may be. But then 2 of them came behind me and pinned me. So I fought for my damn life to get that damn belt.
Did you get
Got it. I
Did you get
got
it?
it. I got that motherfucker. I have it's downstairs in my bar. I got that shit. Okay. All right.
You're hanging on the wall. Please tell me you're hanging on the wall.
Sergeant Goodwin signed that shit. I got that belt. You damn right I did. All right. At any rate, got through all that. I was about to be meritoriously promoted to corporal. I was getting ready to go to a board for a meritorious promotion. Here's where things took a turn.
Oh boy.
We were PTing and we were just doing a regular run, and someone I appreciate it. I'm not that amazing, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't blow his ego bigger than it is already.
I'm really not that amazing. Thank you, but I really appreciate it.
One thing about Marines, they have big egos.
Shut up.
See, he admitted it.
He was trying to diddy it in our yes.
I saw that. I was like, I'm waiting for you to catch it. I'm like, I'm gonna say something in a minute, but I want him to catch it himself. Go ahead.
Yes. So we were PTing, and then someone has this bright ass idea to say, hey, let's go and let's play basketball.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now.
And mind you, I don't do this shit. And so I said, okay, cool. So I said, gunnery sergeant, I said, I really don't want to do this. All right. I would much rather go run. So can I go do that? He specifically said, no. This is a shop thing. You got to do it. So I went to my sergeant. I said, Sergeant so-and-so. I said, look, can I, like, every time y'all shoot something, can I, like, do, Marine Corps push-ups? Can I, I did my damnness to get out of this shit. And I even went back to my gunnery sergeant. And I tried to plead my case to get out of playing this shit because I do not play this game. I am an embarrassment to my color with this game. Play the sound. Horrible at it. I'm awful at it. It's not that I don't like it. I'm just not good at it. Yes, football too. Anything with pig skin or leather.
But I bet you $100 if you went ski shooting, you hit every target.
That's correct.
That's my man.
So we had just finished working out. We just went to the gym. We pushed our weight. We ran our 3 miles. Did our shit. And mind you, I did all this, and I told you we just went to Mountain Warfare training. So apparently, after what happened is that what I'm about to tell you, after what happened. No, not hockey either. I'm not very good at that either.
So sports and you don't get along?
No.
Okay.
I don't do sports. So what ends up happening is that what the doctor has explained to me is that my ACLs were thin like rubber bands.
Probably overworked.
And overworked. And what he said that what was about to happen is I could have taken a step wrong on the edge of a curb, and it would have popped at any time. So I was a walking time bomb, apparently, from what happened with all of the training. And I didn't know it. So here's what happened. I tried to get out of this damn game. And he gave me, the gunnery sergeant told me, he said, if you ask me again, it's going to be a problem. Remember I told you about that whole direct order thing? Mm-hmm. Okay, it was more like I was getting a knife hand about this. Okay, you got it? Cool. So I said, fuck it. Fuck it. I'll play the damn game. All right. So I played the game. I landed on a straight leg and hyperextended my entire knee behind my hip. Popped it like that. Popped my ACL
And you
backwards.
probably went down like a ton of bricks, scream bloody murder.
No, I didn't scream.
Really?
It didn't hurt. I actually was confused. When it popped, I was like, the fuck? It felt like a rubber band. I was confused. And then I tried to get up. And when I got up and stand on it, it went backwards again. I was confused. I didn't know what happened. And I looked up, I was like, what the fuck? Why can't I stand on this damn thing? What the fuck is wrong? And then I tried to stand up and walk on it, and then it flipped backwards, like almost like a broken leg. I was confused. Because my mindset has been in training that you just get up and you keep trying. That's what the fuck I did. It didn't hurt.
You're so used to it for all these years.
Right. But when I sat down and it had a chance to swell, oh my God, that is when the pain kicked in. It swelled up like a goddamn, it swelled up like a goddamn grapefruit. So here's what happened. My entire ACL dislodged from my femur.
Ow.
It never tore. It dislodged from the process that it connects to at the bone. So inside of your femur, it connects like an attachment, almost like a clip.
Yeah.
And it slid out of its naturalized hole like a knot. Then I had to walk on it. I had to walk around on it like that for 3.5 weeks because I couldn't get an MRI because everyone just thought that it was just a sprain. I didn't know it was torn. The Marine Corps is very slow at getting, why you ask? Because the Marine Corps is very slow at getting you treatment because get a Motrin and suck it the fuck up. That's what I did. I got some naproxen and I sucked it the fuck up. Not knowing that it was actually torn. The fuck was I supposed to do? So I kept showing up for formation. I kept doing my damn job. I couldn't PT, but I kept doing my damn push-ups. I kept, doing whatever I needed to do. I just, for some reason, some odd, weird, goddamn reason, I couldn't stand on it all the way. They thought that I was faking. And I'm like, bro, I really can't do something. Something is weird. I don't know why, but then I get a call.
I thought they need to take every medical complaint very seriously. Because this is not the first time I heard something like this. And it's not the last time I'm going to hear about this. I heard so many stories about not only Marines, Army, all 4 branch or 5 branch, 6 branch, whatever branch are there now, because I don't count the Space Force as a branch. That's a whole different story. But you hear it all the time. I got hurt because I got discharged because they didn't take this seriously. Because when I bitched and bitched and bitched, just suck it up.
You want to know why?
Please educate us.
Every time they use the MRI machine, it costs them money.
That makes sense.
The MRI machines and every damn thing else, whatever the case may be, it costs them more money to be able to. It's a budget thing on base. Not to mention, it's a numbers game. They want to make sure that it's really truly a problem before they actually take any additional actions. So yeah, so for me, in my case, they wanted to see if the swelling was going to go down. They wanted to see how bad it really truly was before taking it seriously immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were going to do an MRI, they wanted to see if it was really as serious as an issue as it truly was. I'm like, well, how serious the fuck is it? Because honestly, I really don't know. All I know is that when I step on it and try and load it and lock it, I fall the fuck down like a goddamn broken puppet. I can stand on it as long as I don't load it. Now, I was rocking and rolling with this damn thing just fine. And since I felt something like that, felt like a rubber band pop inside of my bone, since then, this has been the problem. And when I tried to explain that story to multiple people thought it was a goddamn sprain. Cool, great. And even so I started receiving criticism within my shop from my NCOs because they were thinking I was trying to take advantage of the fact that, because they didn't believe that I was injured. Now, mind you, I had a big ass goddamn grapefruit swelling on my leg. And they thought that I was faking until I got a call. I ended up getting an MRI. And that call came back and said, Lance Corporal Bossman, drop everything and go to ortho right now. And what was funny is that corporal who was telling me that I was faking, he literally just 10 seconds before I got that call said, man, Corporal, Lance Corporal Bossman, I think you're faking it, man, because just the other day I saw me what? Phone rings. Pick up the call. Your ACL is broken. Go to ortho right now. Oh, did you hear that? Corporal Martinez?
You're gloating a little bit there at the point.
Oh, you bet your sweet ass I was. I said, my ACL is broken or it's torn. I have to go to ortho right now. Gunner Sergeant, I got to go to ortho. What solidified the whole thing is that gunnery sergeant had to say that he gave me a direct order to play that game.
Of course he did.
And I literally tried to get out of doing so because it was part of the entire team's or the shop's process of PT. Because we did PT. If we had ended that, I'd have been fine. But they made it part of the PT. But it doesn't stop there. Because I tore my ACL twice. How did the second time happen? Is because the Navy physical therapist tore it the second time. Because I was stretching and he felt that I wasn't stretching it enough, apparently. And he leans into my leg for me with all of his fucking weight. And when he did that, I felt it again. And I told him then, you tore it. So whatever healing I could have made and done the first time ended it. Wait, military is where you got the name from. No. Oh, well, no. BOSSMAN is actually a colloquial name for my grandfather. And so when men in my family get their own family and grow up and it's a rite of passage in my family. And so When I received their rite of passage, I became the next boss man. So that's where that name comes from. But I don't spell it like my grandfather. I wouldn't disrespect it. So I spelled it a little different. So it was the second time. And then the second time, they didn't believe me. Again. Because I was on this little thing, this little, what is it, little cycle thing? And
let's go.
Right. And each time it shoots up the leg, right? Well, each time it felt like that screw that they screwed in, which that screw is still in the first screw that the first surgeon, it's still in my humerus. Not the femur, the humerus. It's still there. They can't get it out. And they said it will cause more damage to my leg. I'm sorry, tibia. Excuse me, wrong one. Tibia. It's still there. So that screw with the screwed in cadaver's tendon, when it was going up, I felt it click like grinding gristle. And I was telling them that you want me to run almost as if like you're God commanding thou shalt run. That's not how this shit works. Especially after what that damn PT guy did. Seriously? Cool. So they said, if you don't run today, you're going to be discharged from physical therapy, bitch. Cool. Bet. So I went and got me a new medical officer. See, what people don't understand is that in the military, you have to speak for yourself and you have to advocate for yourself. Don't let rank scare you. I was talking to an 06 and I didn't give a fuck. Fuck her. So I found me a new MO. And as soon as he felt my leg, he says, who was that MO? Oh, yeah. He says, go to ortho again. Your ACL is torn again. So when people ask me, couldn't you have healed from the first one? Couldn't you have, it's just an ACL. There's people in sports that heal from ACL tears all the time. Yeah, I could have.
But there's 2 in a row. 2 is very hard to come back from.
And I had 3 surgeries. I had 2 ACL replacements and a meniscal debridement and an MCL replacement.
As much, I want to sit back and tell you, oh, come on, dude, you're one of a fluke. You're not. Because I have spoken to CQ, Angry Elf, and some other guys. And they keep telling me, you are your own critic in the military. If you don't speak up for yourself, you're fucked. Quiet people get washed out. So we're coming to the top of the hour. Are you done with that story, by the way? I'm sorry.
Yeah, for the most part. I tried to come back. I tried to heal and whatnot. And what I received was the opposite of the brotherhood for the most part. They were starting to turn against me in that shop. Now, outside of that shop, they were fine. People were fine. Inside the shop, inside of my unit, within my building, they were like antagonizing because they were thinking that I was taking advantage. Because I had so much convalescent leave because of how much I had so much leave because I had used so much convalescent leave because of my, recovery.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Like I had staff NCOs coming to me saying, how does a corporal, because I got promoted while I was injured. So I got promoted. I got pinned as a corporal with a cane. And I felt horrible by that. I didn't even want the pin. I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. How dare you pin me with a cane? Just give me my certificate. But someone said to me, you earned it because before you were injured, you were the star of that damn shop.
Plus, somebody tried to take your sock off.
Yeah, and I kicked him in the fucking face. So it was a rough time. When you ask me in a nutshell, Sparta, how was my first time? And when someone tries to, as I wrap this up, when someone tries to, criticize me for different components of about me and so on and so forth, I think back on these moments like this. I've just explained to you. I'm not new to criticism because of how either I appear. Yeah, it is a shit rank. And that's why nobody wants it. It is. It's a shitty job. It really is. But I'm not new to any of this. I'm pretty fucking used to it. I'm pretty Teflon to it for the most part, Sparta. So I went up there with my damn cane with pride and I got my goddamn rank because I realized I did fucking earn it. And it was unfortunate that the luck of the draw, it happened to me, but I realized me going up there and getting it is like a slap in the face to them because they thought that I didn't deserve it anyway because I got promoted faster than them. And then just for me to get promoted faster than them, and while I was injured too, oh yeah, I knew that hurt.
And it's jealousy sometimes.
Correct.
So before we go, I want two things. I got one video, and I want you to tell us a funny story during your service that you gotta tell us at least one. So which one you want to do first? The video or the funny story?
Do the video. Give me time to think of a funny story because go ahead.
All right, let me get it ready. Hang on one quick second.
Funny story. Shit.
All right. Close this out. Maybe I want you to explain this. What the hell is going on here? Because you're a Marine, you know better than anybody.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I know exactly what's happening there. All right. Okay. All right. This is a Marine Corps ball.
I kind of figured that part.
Okay. Marine Corps ball. That old man is a sergeant and he is retired. Okay. That lady is looked like she was a gunnery sergeant, from what I could tell, either gunnery sergeant or master sergeant, and she is drunk. And
everybody's drunk there at that point.
And he was invited as an honorary guest of the Marine Corps ball. And everybody there is drinking, having a great time. And that is usually what happens at a Marine Corps ball. All bets are off at a Marine Corps ball, and all the formalities are done at a Marine Corps ball. And you're liable to see anything at a Marine Corps ball. I would give anything to be invited to a Marine Corps ball again. And yes, with my current dress blues, that I can still fit. Yes.
So only thing I was gonna say is General Corporal whatever Sanders probably had his best night of his life that night.
Oh, most definitely. Because let me tell you something. Well, I won't. But yes, he was having a great time. Great time. Yeah. Look, my gunnery sergeant. He drank profusely only at the Marine Corps ball, and he acted. I wouldn't say just like that lady, but to the level of freedom. The guy that we saw when he at the Marine Corps ball, we were just like, what the fuck? Like, and when we were lit. I have a picture. I have to show you another time. I have a picture of me. The only picture I have that I really honestly the most proud of. It was actually I was a Lance, I do believe. No, was I Lance? No, it was a PFC. But we were all. It was. No, I did not get married while I was in the while I was in the Marine Corps. I did not make that mistake. And I say mistake because most of us, while we were E1 to E3, get married in that time frame, and it's not advised that we get married between E1 and E3. It's advised you get married, while you are at least E5. There's reasons behind that, but a lot of people do get married at that E4 rank, or even E4 isn't as bad, but E3 they do that just to get out of the barracks. Most of them do.
You blame him? Come on, you get a little freedom there.
Listen, let me tell you something. It's not wise. It just isn't. See, look, it's not wise to do so because think you are a low rank individual and you are having to deal with the wives of those who are with people of higher rank.
Okay.
And having to maneuver it listen, it's just not wise. It's just not. My advice to anybody going into the services, the politics of dealing with having to live on it, just not wise. Don't do it. If you just so happen to fall in love with somebody, while you're in the military, especially you're in between that one. I wasn't going to mention this, Mandrell, but thank you for mentioning it. You don't get paid enough for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. You don't really start getting and seeing money until about E6, my dude. And that's pushing it. When I was a Lance Corporal, buddy, I was hardly pushing 30,000.
That pisses me off every time I hear this shit. I'll tell you why. You have this fucking goddamn ball players who make millions for playing a little rubber ball that we chase them. And that's my fucking problem. We cannot pay our men who fucking put their lives on the line a lot more than what, these motherfuckers are getting. I don't think ball players should be making millions. No way. I think you guys should be making it in the millions, putting your fucking lives on the line. That's my personal opinion. I'm sorry.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. I wouldn't suggest that we individually make millions, but I would suggest that as a E1 coming in, that we're not making less than 25,000. I would postulate that we at least make 40,000. Because if I had
55 at least,
something to that degree, okay, to where we are able to be and that's after they deduct what they deduct from us. Because if you think no, bro, no, I'm not talking about taxes. I'm not talking about just taxes. Oh, do you think that the money that they take from us is just taxes?
clothing, food. Board.
Okay, food, yes, that's taken from us. Board is taken from us, yes. The uniforms, that comes out of our money.
Yeah, that's why I say clothes. That's why I said uniform. You have to go buy your own in your uniform store, right?
Let me even tell you. Let me tell you the even more insidious part about this. Do you know boot camp? Let's go back to boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going into boot camp, and there's a shop on boot camp. Okay, so I hate calling it boot camp because in the Marine Corps we call it training. Okay, basic training. We don't call it boot camp. That's Marine. That's Army talk. In training, we were going into we had to carry everything. We had these sacks, and we walked through single file line through through the thing. We were collecting toothbrush, toothpaste. We were collecting laundry detergent, all this shit, whatever. And it all ended up to in the back of the bay, like all of the laundry detergent, softener, all that shit and whatever. That's in the back of the bay as a collective pod for the entire squad bay. There it is. Got it? Cool. Now back to the shop. Who paid for that?
You,
There you go.
the soldier.
The Marine. Yes. Were you on a ruck march? You could say that. But yeah, we had to pay for that. Every time we went to go and get like extra, we paid for all that. It came out of our pockets. All the SIF, I wouldn't say, no, not SIF gear, but all of our uniforms and stuff. Yeah, if they told us that something was like dented on our uniform or something, we paid for that shit.
Even when you get promoted, you get new ribbons and all that stuff. You have to pay for that.
We pay for that.
I remember talking to I was actually sitting in CQ's living room. We're talking about it, like, no, dude, we pay for that shit. Every single one. Every time I got promoted, I had to go down to the store, get them, sew them on. It's a whole process. I don't have to get one. Might have to get like 40 of them sometimes. Like it's a couple $100.
All the alterations. That's why it's important for us to stay relative to our size, because and especially the Marines, because all of our shit is very manual. Whether you realize it or not, sliding it on the like that shit. Like, well, mine is I don't know if you noticed in the picture, but it's not the one you slide on. It's the one that's glued straight down. So mines were custom. Okay. But each time you get a new ribbon that's added, like a award or whatever, you got to get a new one custom done. Okay. That should cost money. But the cover, all that shit, all that, and then don't let them change the fucking uniform. So like when they changed the uniform code for women, every woman had to go and get that new cover.
And that costs who knows how much. And
I know how much it costs. Shit, that damn thing was $80 fucking, and that was just the frame. The outside itself cost another 30.
So the question I have for you.
There we go, right there. Yep. Mandra, mine wasn't much more of a fucking difference. I think I was getting maybe 900 or maybe 900 or maybe I think it was like, because in boot camp, I think it was only because I only saw the balance at the end. So I was calculating how much I was possibly getting, because listen, Mandrell, I was not getting fucking pink eye in boot camp. Pink eye ran amok in boot camp. Okay. Let me tell you something. I was not getting fucking pink eye. All right. And let me tell you something. 2002.
I heard merch was pretty bad too in boot camp.
Yeah. So I got in 2000. 2012. All right, so it was around maybe 1100 or so. Yeah, so divide it wasn't as much. It wasn't as little as that, but it was a bit, maybe a bit more than that, but it wasn't much of a difference. So yeah, you're about right. As a private coming in, maybe it's about like 900 or so. But yeah, I was not getting pink eye, man. So what was happening is that people were I bought extra towels in the squat bay because because you had to line your towels up on your rack in a certain way, and these people were using the same towel, same wet dirty towels, and mind you, you couldn't shower like you normally shower. You almost had to shower like you were in prison. And sometimes you didn't have time to go in and shower like a normal individual. Like I didn't shower like I was a normal person for like 2.5 months in there. So literally you had to like run through the shower, grab soap while you're running through, rub it really quick and run through in less than 2 minutes. And it was like 70 to 90 of us.
Yeah. I've heard of that. I've heard that like showers are, during training is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You out. Yeah. None of that bullshit. No. Okay.
You gotta get a hose and just hose your ass down. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. And no. Well, they weren't the one hosing you. You were running through the goddamn water. Okay. And if you're scared of if you have issues or problems with seeing 80 other men naked and shit, this ain't shit for you. Okay, get the fuck over it.
Grow up
hair and walk through that shit. Yes, women too, but however, we were segregated. Okay, obviously there was. So I had a sister company, Oscar company.
Out of it.
Okay, obviously, but yeah, but the women showered the same exact way. They didn't treat the women any differently. See, that's the thing. The Marine Corps don't ostracize. In fact, because of the stigma that they have on the women, because of the mindset that potentially they would treat women any differently, they are even worse to the women. The female drill instructors, oh my fucking God, they're awful.
Are they really?
I've seen male drill instructors get the fuck out the way for female drill instructors. They will get the fuck out the way for female drill instructors because they and fuck around and call out because you're so used to saying "I sir," and then you see a female drill instructor and you instinctively say "I sir."
You fucked up.
Oh my fucking God!
Get your ass whooped.
She will fucking maul you, and then what will end up happening is another female drill instructor will hear this and wonder what will happen, and then she say, he called me ma'am, she called me ma'am, and then it is the worst.
So you can't say sir, you can't say ma'am. What are you supposed to call him then?
Oh, I ma'am.
Oh, I ma'am.
Yes. Okay. I ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I missed that part.
Just don't call them my sir. And then you fuck around.
I can see some assholes that's doing it on purpose to piss them off.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm saying I can see some dickhead doing it.
You will learn your lesson quite quickly. Because here's what happens. I've seen a drill instructor fuck around and do that. And the female drill instructors like because they're cool internally. What they do is they put on a mask, like a mask out like in front of us.
They have to,
and they hate each other in front of us. And so they when they battle, the females usually win. I'm not gonna lie, because they are brutal. They're fucking
brutal. It's like a rivalry in a way.
Yeah, they are fucking brutal. Usually the sister companies are only at um only at uh damn, I'm losing brain cells here.
No comment.
Hang on. Where I trained at, and then now I'm embarrassed because I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot remember the location of where I trained, but it's fine. They're only at the one. They're not at the location. Paris Island. Thank you. No one said it in the chat. It it came back. Paris Island. That's the only location that women train in the Marine Corps. So if you recruit in California as a female Marine to be, because you're not a Marine until you receive your EGA. As a female recruit, you have to come all the way over to Paris Island. Yeah. Up. Thanks for your help, but I got it. I got it before you came. I appreciate it. All right. I've been vindicated. All right. So third company Mike Battalion. Third Battalion Mike Company was my battalion and company, and it had a sister company, Oscar Company, and we oftentimes would train together at the same time. So Paris Island is oftentimes this kind of rival playground for male and female kind of, drilling ground or whatever. And you bet not let the females win when it comes to drilling. And so what would happen is we would drill, and is oftentimes this issue of hitting. So it's oftentimes an issue of going into different positions. So you have the parade rest position with the rifle, and you have the first position, and you have the third position where the rifle is up here like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so the sexiest part is that rifle butt hitting the side right here, and you holding it, right here, and you're marching, right? Okay. Well, we were doing this in the rain. My drill instructor, for some reason, and this was the winter time, by the way. So sand fleas in the damn daytime, and in fucking freezing in damn nighttime. It's raining. So he wanted to do this during the nighttime, and I don't know, but it was the goddamn coolest thing in the world for us. We felt empowered by the pain, because we were the only one. Everybody else was fucking scurrying in the damn rain, and our sergeant, and our drill instructor was just like, we're badasses. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna show them that, we felt some sort of jolt by that or something. I don't know. It was cool as shit, right? I don't know. So everybody else is skirting and shit, and then we're like drilling in the fucking rain. Like we felt like we were like the badasses of the goddamn Mike Company, right? But then the ladies came by, and we were not doing that great. And there was this one formation that we were not getting right at all, but it wasn't a standard formation for drill. And it wasn't it. So for drill preparation, you have the ability to do one formation that's not standard. Well, this is the one that we weren't getting right. When the women came around, and mind you, we hadn't seen the woman almost 2.5 months. When we saw them bitches come by, let me tell you something.
Boing.
Man, listen. God damn it. We fucking stood up and shit. We popped that goddamn rifle and shit. And our drill instructor looked at us like, so let me get this straight. It took seeing women for y'all to get this shit right. Okay, good. All right. So here's what happens. So then every time he wanted to do that transaction or do that particular formation, I guess he worked it out to where he wanted to. All right, y'all. There's the damn ladies. All right, tell you what, we're gonna do this one now, since apparently it takes women for y'all to fucking act right. So it was this little joke in between, but we found ways to be encouraged, and apparently seeing women every so often encouraged us to act right, because we were not going to look fucked up in front of the women. And then what was most confirming to us is that when the ladies came through, the ladies would stop, look at us, so they would turn 45, 45, 90-degree cut and look at us. They would then, look at us, and we had to get it right. We popped the goddamn rifles and shit, and the ladies was like, "You hear them rifles, ladies? That's how them rifles are supposed to sound." And then they walked off, and we was like, "Man, fuck yeah, yeah, man!" And you know what we got as a reward for that? Power bars.
Wow.
Motherfucking power bars, bitch. Listen, we live for them fucking power bars.
All right. Now, give me one funny story, and we're gonna end it tonight. Give me something. I don't care. I don't care. Even you had dropped the soap.
First of all,
Yeah.
I showered.
Maybe,
I showered in the corner.
You were smart.
Fucking showered in the corner, bitch. Let me tell you something. Fuck that.
All right, I'm listening.
Funny story. Okay. See, I'm not very good at telling these fucking stories. Because these are only funny stories. These are only if it hurts, you're doing it wrong. Facts. These are facts, actually. I know what he's talking about. All right. There was a dude named in training, because most of the stories I find most enduring was in training, because my time at Cherry Point was, I won't put that as a far distant memory. There was a dude named Barber, and he was the platoon's fuck up. He made us want to put soap in the damn socks, and then commit complete battery.
Code red.
Yes. Every day. There was a guy who definitely received that, by the way. But anyway, I was not that guy. Okay. And so he was not getting something right relative to our RFT. RTF is basically our schoolhouse training, essentially, because we had some things was combat stuff, some things was armory stuff, some things was like our school stuff that we had to learn. And it was these questions that we had to learn. And one of the answers was chosen reservoir. Okay. I can't remember the question, but it was chosen reservoir. And so he wasn't getting it right. And so our kill hat, he was Staff Sergeant St. Romain. Never forget this guy. He was the most serious. He looked like what was the red guy from the Avengers? The red guy with the okay. If you can imagine him, okay, with a with a campaign cover, green campaign cover. That's what he looked like. Okay. He was the most serious guy. He never laughed. Most of the drill instructors, they accidentally laughed at some point. Okay. And you can always catch them. This guy never laughed. Never, ever laughed. So Barber talks like this. Chosen reservoir. This is how he talks, okay? He talks like this all the time, okay? Now, if you can imagine this. So we're sitting here and we're doing our in indoor schoolhouse, whatever. And we are doing a little test, whatever. And he gets something, he does something fucked up, or he gets he gets the test wrong, and it's causing us to retake the test. And the situation is that if anybody gets 6 questions wrong or more, everybody has to retake the practice test, because the whole platoon has to practice. Because remember, I told you everyone's competing. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So he's the reason why we're not getting past this and moving on to something else. And it's this question of chosen reservoir is the answer. And he gets it wrong multiple times. So Staff Sergeant Saint Remain stands this guy up and tells him to go back in the back and says, he says, you motherfucker, you dumb bitch, you keep getting this shit fucking wrong. You go back there and you're gonna do, I think it was like maybe 20 Marine Corps jumping jacks that you're gonna have to do. And every time you end it, you're gonna end it with saying Chosen Reservoir. And so when he ends it on, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, right? So he gets it with Chosen Reservoir. Chosen Reservoir. Like that. And it sounds just like that. So picture it. We're all quiet
I don't
doing
want
it.
to.
And he's in the back. And all we hear is that. And so Staff Sergeant Saint Romain is literally pacing in the front of the goddamn squad bay. And he's literally turning red because this guy never laughed. And so he's turning red because he's trying his fucking hardest not to fucking laugh. And we can see it. And we're like, oh, bitch. Because we're literally getting our asses torn apart by this guy. And we are looking for this motherfucker to laugh. Oh, man. So he breaks character finally. And he goes, you stupid motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. And he runs back there, grabs this motherfucker, and then pushes him down and says, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear anymore. Shut up. Shut up.
Wow.
And
it was
so
his idea, but he get pissed off because he cracked him.
Yeah, he cracked him. Fucking cracked him.
Nice. That's a good one.
And so to me, that was the moment that I fucking lived for. That to me is funny. Again, to somebody else who went through training, yeah, he pushed him down. He smushed his fucking face in the goddamn shit. But he was mad because he was the reason why he broke character. It was the only time he broke character. And to a drill instructor, the motherfucker that was yelling at the goddamn tree, he was mad. Trust me, if he ever broke character, he'd be pissed off. But
he probably was pissed at me for a while.
Oh, I told you, they don't like whenever they made the break character. But to another Marine who understands what that moment is and what that is, he says that is a personal thing in assault. They don't give a shit. Listen, you got to sign a waiver.
In the military, there's no such thing.
There's no go to an army where there's a fucking stress card. Okay. I have been assaulted. All right. Hazed. Okay. Kicked in the fucking face and had to lie about it. Okay. It is what it is. But
I heard stories about people getting smoked and they be quiet and do your job.
Yeah. To me, and I'm sure to another person going through the damn training, the other Marines, they understand what that moment it means. So that's literally, I don't have too many like stupid, seriously hilarious moments unless you were actually there to understand the significance of it. Maybe some drunk stories, but were they really funny? No.
At the moment, it probably were because you were drunk as hell. But anyway, we went over about 30 minutes. I think we need a part 2 with you coming soon. You agree?
Do you?
Oh, hell
yeah. That's
yeah.
just not that interesting.
I had a great time tonight. Didn't you?
I mean, yeah, I did, but I'm not that interesting. I've never seen, nor was I ever issued a stress card my entire life in the Army. Okay, in your Army, you're not, or you weren't. But I'm going to tell you, there was a point in time where they were offering stress cards to the Army. And it was probably after you were out of training.
Probably. Thing that changed. Dude, I've heard people now even keeping their cell phones during boot camp.
Where the fuck did you do that
at? Air Force.
Of course, the fucking chair force.
So, Bossman, it was an honor and a pleasure having you. So, I want you to do me an honor. I want you to close us out tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't usually give the reins to a lot of people, and you know that already about me. I want you to close out. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I really don't know how to close out the show, but hey, thanks everyone for coming out here tonight to another edition of the Gray Area. I am the guest host here for the moment, filling in for the great Mr. Bennett here, but I am Boss Man, and this is
Sparta!
colloquially known as Poniotis, right? Did I say it right?
Right. Actually,
Yes!
yeah, great.
I did it right for the first time. Yes. And you have been watching The Gray Area, and do come back and like, share, and subscribe, and keep the conversation going. And as always, appreciate you coming in and being here. And until next time, it has been a pleasure. See.
All right, guys, another one in the books. Another great episode on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Listen, we're doing the thing over here. So, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, which helps the channel, hit your boy Cash App. It's scrolling right here, right there, at the bottom of the screen. And support the channel. But we're happy that you're here, and we look forward to seeing you on every episode. So hit the notification button so you know when we go live. Thank you again, guys, for watching. We out.